Hey there, how's it go? Why are you joining the railway now? Last week was the Brotherhood. The week before that, the Minutemen. And now the Railroad? What's next? The Institute? Nah, the weapons suck. But anyway, most of the time with the Institute and all that, they give you a special weapon for joining them. Or maybe not the Institute so much, but yes, you can probably guess what I'm going to talk about. Weapon I'm going to talk about, of course, is the railway rifle. Now, normally you get the railway rifle by doing the quest for the, railway, but that's not true. There's two ways to get it. And I'm going to open up this episode with the way how to get it. First up, you're going to go to the junkyard, pretty much a little bit southeast of Diamond City. Yeah, Big John's Salvage. When you're there, now, resist the urge to loot everything like I do. It's hard to fight sometimes. But go back when you killed all the Supermoons. There should be a little bit of a generator with a wire sticking out of it. Open the panel. Flip the circuit breaker. Just open a door somewhere nearby. Now, enter the junkyard. And pretty much go past all the junk and swing around the back pass. You'll see a big overturned railway car. Again, try to resist the urge to loot everything you see. Now, inside there'll be a little door. Pretty much like that, you flip the circuit breaker and that opened that door. Inside that shelter is our prize. Now again, sorry about my overwhelming urge to loot everything. When you get inside this place, which I didn't know about until quite late into my playthrough, has a free railway rifle right on the table. No need to screw around with the railway if you don't want to. But yes, the railway rifle. This weapon, well, it's featured from Fallout 3. And in Fallout 3, I didn't care for it because it was a rather large weapon. It took out a good portion of your screen. The projectile speed was slow. And its firepower was, it was okay. Got the job done, and not to mention back then you had to make it by all sorts of weird parts. So, a lot of the times I didn't bother with it in Fallout 3. Fallout 4, however, they fixed all those problems and caused new ones in the process. So yes, the railway rifle. At a first glance, we can see it has tremendous firepower. With my perk doubled up, I got 209 damage right out of the box. That's a lot of damage. But for ammunition, it takes railway spikes. If you're not familiar with this, there's very little railway spikes in the world. You almost never find them naturally. Very rarely do you ever find them. Most of the time you have to go out and purchase them, which they're relatively cheap, only a cap each. But you only can buy them like a quantity of 7 or so. So getting a whole bunch of these shots is a bit obnoxious. And I think I'll be using that word a lot for this weapon, is obnoxious. But anyway, in terms of accuracy, it's good enough. Weight, well, the weight's not too bad, and range is okay. Fire rate could be better. It's a semi-automatic gun. Now, first and foremost, you got this obnoxious steam coming out of the gun, with a lot of background noise to add with it. From the hip, it's okay. Like I say, the accuracy is only around 70 to 60. So it could be better, could be worse. Reload speed, it's a bit slow, and you can only hold 10 shots in the magazine. So it leaves a little bit to be desired. But, oh well. The ammunition is cheap, and that's one good trope about this. But, with everything else, we'll see how this does. But before we get into the numbers, my Rifleman perk is fully maxed out, and as well as my Commando perk, as this gun could go automatic, as we'll see later on. But yes, full damage values will be seen. In terms of customization, even though it's not a heavy weapon, there's almost like no customization here. You can get the automatic piston receiver, which has a very little bit of fire rate, only 2 shots. I might not keep this in the end, but I'll try it anyway for the shooting range. You can go short barrel or long barrel. Well, to be honest, I'd rather go with long barrel, because this weapon's not very good for close quarters. The rate of fire is not there. Stock, well, why would you take a standard one? Take the real gun-sitting stock, even if you didn't have an automatic one. Scope-wise, you can actually choose a bit, but I'll always take a medium scope, the best of both worlds. And the muzzle, we got a large bayonet, and my view on bayonets is I don't like them. It adds too much weight, and if I need to bash someone's face in, I'll just bash them once and shoot them when they're stunned. So, the weapon's not that heavy, luckily. Now, in terms for being automatic, not to mention I think we added more steam to this damn thing. That's it being automatic. It's almost no different from semi-automatic from me pulling the trigger naturally. Down the scope, we see it's just fine for accuracy, which is good. Accuracy didn't get really much of an increase, but at least it works down scope perfectly. But still, only 10 shots. So this is more of a battle rifle than anything. It's the railway rifle. A moderately heavy weapon, not too heavy, compared to the combat rifle or the assault rifle. But in terms of accuracy, we have improved it, though not too much from the hip fire. Damages remain the same. So when fighting enemies, I figured I'd shoot a few ghouls, but I don't got to spend too much time on ghouls, because all of them die in one hit, aside from the strongest, which I don't think I need to find. But however, this is not a close quarter weapon. If an enemy wanders inside of your bubble, this weapon will not fight in your corner. It's woefully inaccurate in terms of close quarter, and its rate of fire is lacking heavily. But its firepower is excellent. Even against power armor, one shot. That plane raider went down in one shot, even with power armor. Didn't need to fire off the fat man at me. Now, when fighting Supermoons, though, at first it claims it does a lot of damage, but it's not really the case too much. It could cut through the brutes and the plain Supermoons and their hounds, but in terms for Supermoon, it seems like, strangely, a lot of the stronger ones are more resistant to it. But in terms of weaker ones, oh, it just tears right through them. That's a given. But this is a problem for endgame people. If you can't kill your opponent quickly, he will only hurt you. But however, there's a nice little trope that you can stun enemies whenever you hit them. Anyone who survives the first shot, that is. Also, when in kinetic situations, you gotta be careful with that projectile speed. I didn't mean to hit the mini nuke in his hand, but it happened anyway. Now, trying to put the Primus out of his misery, it didn't exactly happen too fast for him. So I didn't dare fight a warlord with this thing. So, okay against Supermutants. But against Mirelurks, it's amazingly effective. Because you got that one stagger hit when you hit a bolt an enemy with it. Now, Mirelurks are a huge nuisance since they're resistant to almost every weapon in the game. Maybe not so much their soft areas, but they always cover it up with their big shell. And if you hit that big shell, they still stagger. That's what makes fighting Mirelurks a cinch with this weapon. Even if they get the jump on you, and suddenly they're close quarters, this weapon will at least work it out for you. Because at least at this point, they can't even touch you. This way you can easily aim at their soft ports and finish them off, easily. So good Mirelurk killer. And I even salvaged my ammo, which I didn't realize until this moment he could do. Now, it wouldn't be a showcase on me killing a Deathclaw. So I managed to find at least a normal Deathclaw to kill. Because lately they've been hiding from me. For good reason, too. Now, again, projectile speed's a problem, as these guys move fast. But when I hit their stomach, it was almost over for them. And luckily, it didn't get to touch me. Now, that was a bit lackluster, so I managed to find a chameleon nearby. So I helped out the Brotherhood, and since they're pretty much getting destroyed by this thing. But, again, the thing moves so damn quick that my projectile speed sometimes doesn't connect. Now, if this was a one-on-one, I think I would lose. Because the normal Deathclaw drops quickly, but the chameleon can really take a beating. As it is the strongest Deathclaw there is. If it wasn't for them chewing on the Brotherhood, it would be chewing on me instead. And luckily, I managed to kill without it touching me. Just barely, though. Anyway, let's talk some pros and cons. Pros. We got extremely high damage. The ammunition is cheap. And the weapon is awesome. It's a homage to Fallout 3. If you can call that a pro or not. But I believe that's it for pros. For cons, however, we got incredibly lousy rate of fire. We've got projectile speed that's slow. Ammunition is rare and has to be purchased. And the weapon, in terms of accuracy, it's okay. Not good or bad. Take your pick where that one is. So, it could be better. But anyway, that's showcased on the railway rifle. Now, whether you like the railway or not, you can still get their gun. Don't forget that. Now, of it being better in the Fallout 3 version, I'd say yes. Yes, it is better in the Fallout 3 version. But, with all the obnoxious steam, and how much noise it makes, and the lack of projectile speed still being there, and the ammunition, I choose not to. But this may be a gun for you. Not for me, that's my opinion. But you're free to form your own opinions how you want. But oh well. That is showcase for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.